See how I work through the ball? Right here. Work through the ball. See my head? Open my hand. Open my glove. Work through the ball. Okay? Right there. Keep working it. Over. Let me adjust. Go through it. Catch it. Okay? Right here. Through the ball. Boom. No matter where it is. Just make it adjust.
You're going to adjust with your feet as the throw comes. You're going to catch it off the belt and make it catch. Still. See how you came up? See how you did that? Remember that short hop drill we did? So this is basically all that is. You're going to come in. You're going to be ready to retrieve that ball just like you would a ball. You want to catch it straight down. You don't want to catch it, come up, and then go straight down. You want to catch it and come straight down, okay? Ready? Stealing. There you go. Go on to bend your knees a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bend your knees, hey.
Well, getting in this tree was, let's just say it was nothing short of a disaster. Looking at this tree from the ground, I mean, I've climbed thousands of trees, and you would never think that this tree is that hard to climb, but maybe I'm just getting old, I don't know, but this tree spanked my tail, and I had to get so high up here, I still can't see the best in the world. And to be honest, I still need to climb down and get my spotting scope, because I mean, it's too far to zoom in with my phone. You're not going to be able to really see details. So about to make the track down to get that, and then I'll climb back up and maybe we'll see a deer. Some fresh rub right there. Just kind of scouting my way in. I'm gonna get set up in here. 2025 deer season is finally here. Feels good to be back in the deer stand, hanging in the saddle. I'm gonna flip y'all around and show you what we got going on this afternoon. Got a drainage ditch that runs from west to east. It goes on up through there and basically splits two ag fields, one right over there and one right over there. Way on up there, a good little ways. There's another drainage that goes up here. And there's a cutover right up there. A cutover over there. And a cutover over here. I'm expecting these deer to come out of these cutovers, work their way up these drainages towards that private ag. That's the hope. Our wind is, for the most part, blowing up this other drainage, which is not ideal, but it's okay. Hopefully, they come out of this cutover and come down here. Hopefully they don't try to come from that way, because if they do, we're pretty much done if they come from that way. But we're in here. We went hunting opening morning. I took one of my buddies to try to get his first bow kill. Saw some does. I think it was 5 total. Or 6. I'm gonna go with 5. Couldn't get it done opening morning. We went yesterday afternoon. Saw several bucks and shooter right before dark, 36 yards. Aaron couldn't make it happen, so we're gonna have to try him again a little bit later in the year. But we're in a pretty good spot this evening. I got some pretty high hopes for this afternoon's sit, so pretty tight window in here. I think my farthest shot is 36 yards, maybe 37. I'm gonna have to range it again to that creek over there, so we're in here. Y'all keep your fingers crossed. See y'all after a while. Just had a few does work their way up this drainage. They come out of that cutover on the other side of me. Came down here and worked their way up to them ag fields up there just like I thought they would. Got my lucky hoodie on now. After they left, I went ahead and put my hoodie on. Temperature's probably gonna start dropping. It ain't gonna get too cold, but I like to be comfortable. Plus that'll help me with the mosquitoes, so catch y'all after a while. I got turkeys in front of me. There's a deer walking behind me. If that's a big buck, I'm not gonna be able to film it. I can hear him walking right there. These damn turkeys. September the 16th. It is Tuesday. On the way back up here to this particular piece of public. It's supposed to be raining today, but of course the weatherman is not accurate. He is wrong again. But I opted not to come out here opening day or the day after. Opening day was on a Saturday. We all know people don't work on the weekends. Most people don't work on the weekends. So I didn't come out here. I figured it would be stomped up. And I have several cameras in the area that I'm hunting. Sure enough, they didn't lie to me. I had 3 different people on camera, so I didn't even bother coming up here this weekend because I knew the deer would be all boogered up from the people running around and stuff. So I figured my chances would be better during the week while the average human is at work. But on the way back up here today, I saw a lot of deer yesterday. Probably saw around 16 to 20 deer. I honestly didn't count them. I don't really know. I saw a lot. Once I got set up where I wanted to be, I didn't see it until I got set up. There was a ladder stand that somebody had put up right across the drainage from where I was sitting. So as soon as I saw that, my hopes went from way up here to just, they plummeted. So I kind of knew at that point that I wasn't gonna see one of the bucks that I'm after. But anywho, we're going back up there today. We got a pretty strong north wind that should and hopefully will mask all the noise that I'm gonna make walking through the woods scouting. I'm gonna try to creep through the woods, find the deer, and maybe find some fresh buck sign and try to set up on it, and hopefully get away from these people and get on the deer. So y'all enjoy the ride. Stay tuned. Stopped by AutoZone on the way out with the old and in with the new. She a little wore out. Much needed. I think those are gonna hold a lot better than what we had. Let's go hunting. We are finally in a tree. I'm in a sweetgum tree. In the same general area where I've been getting these bucks on camera on this piece of public. This public land actually, on Onyx, it butts up to this private ag field. It actually extends out into that ag field some, according to the map. So if he's in this ag field, close to this cutover right here, technically I can shoot him. So that's why we're here. So northerly based wind is hitting me right here, blowing out across this ag field. Soybeans in this ag field. And right here where I'm sitting, they're being pounded. The browse line is just ridiculous in this corner. White oaks are raining acorns right here behind me. Thick cutover in front of me. I walked and walked and walked to get in here without my boat. Need an impeller on my boat and some other stuff to it, but anyway. It was a long walk, but didn't see anything to set up on, so I just kept walking and looked at my map. This is in the same general area, so I decided to come over here. So gonna give it a try, see if we can't get a buck in bow range this afternoon. So, I'll pick y'all up later on when the action picks up, if the action picks up. So y'all stick with me.
nice buck come through behind me right here, eating acorns. 33 yards. I won't plan on shooting if I just wanted to draw my bow on a deer. It's been over a year since I've done that. And there's something born inside of me that I can't explain it to you. I don't know what it is. There is something inside of me. There's a flame that can't be put out. Coming to full draw on a whitetail deer. Feelings are unmatched. Even though I did not kill this afternoon. To me, that was a successful hunt. I absolutely love it. Golly, that felt good, but at least we're on them. It's supposed to be nasty tomorrow.
Out here driving around, looking for old buck deer. Might put my flashers on. Actually, I can't figure out my girlfriend's car, so we're not gonna do that. But I'm pulling off right here. We're gonna video this deer. Where'd he go? He's right there. Time to go. People looking. That's a good buck though. For sure. That's a good buck. Oh yeah.
Easing down this drainage. Y'all look at this deer trail. My God. Look at that thing right there. I know y'all can see it. Goes right through there. I'm checking these oak trees to see if they're dropping acorns. There's a cluster of white oaks right here. Might be in business. Might have to hunt it off the ground though, I don't know yet. We're in here though, so y'all stick with me. This right here might be the spot. We got a scrape right there. White oak. Heavy deer trail. That scrape don't look like it's been hit anytime soon, though. It's been raining all day. Rain last night, so it's about time for them to start ramping it up. But I don't know. I'll go over here and look at it and see if I can't find a fresh track. We'll see. Fresh rub right there. White oak, white oak. White oak. Another white oak over there. Another white oak right there. A bigger white oak over here. Fresh tracks crossing this drainage right here. I think we're getting there.
It's a new day. September 19th. Went hunting yesterday. Misty rain, great weather conditions. I love hunting in the rain like that. Overcast, deer were moving. Saw one of the giants up here. Wasn't able to get a shot. I think the closest he got to me was 112 yards. That's when I first saw him. He stood up out of the ag field. I was on public. He was in the middle of a private ag field. So what can you do? The one that I'm after, the bigger one, yes, there's a bigger one. He's thrown me a curveball. I don't know where this deer's at. Thought I had him figured out, but us hunters, we know how that goes. We all know they shift. I was planning for the shift. I've got 6 cameras on that piece of public, 2 more in the back seat that are going out today. That'll be 8 cameras in this general area. So, I mean, he's got to walk by one of them, right? I mean, come on now. I have flooded this area with cameras. I don't really know what else to do. I've walked. The deer ain't really putting down the sign right now. They're starting to rub a little bit, getting kind of aggressive. Sign's really hard to read right now. I just found out about this deer's existence like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month before hunting season. So don't really know much about him, but the more I can find out now about him, if I don't kill him this year, you know, that'll be in the back of my mind for next year. So that's the thing about chasing these deer, man. They move. They're not, you know, in a fence. They're liable to be 5 miles away from where I saw him at yesterday, if I did see him yesterday. Just using that for an example. But anywho, also I want to take a minute. Shout out to Blackgate Hunting Products for hooking me up with these cameras. We got a pretty cool sponsorship going on, you know. I send them money and they send me cameras. So appreciate y'all. But anywho, we're on the way. We got about I'd say about a 40 more minute drive. It's 4:10 now, so it'll be 5 o'clock when I get there. Had to work this morning, unfortunately, but we're after him, and that's all we can do. So hopefully, praying we find him. I've been looking at maps religiously. There's one little piece of private that's about 1.5 miles away. Might even be 2 miles away. I don't really know. I haven't put a distance on it yet, but from where I had him on camera in the summertime, like, you know, before archery, about a week before archery season, I had him on camera, full velvet. I want to say it's probably 2 miles away from that, if I had to guess. 1.5 miles, 2 miles. But it's a small piece of private, and I'm gonna go knock on her door first and see if I can't get access to bow hunt that. I feel like that spot would be money. If I could get access to that, that would be great. But anywho, I feel like I'm doing too much talking, so I'm gonna get off of here, do some driving, and we about to shag tail up there so I can get some stuff done this afternoon. We got a lot of walking to do, and hopefully we're gonna get access to a nice little piece of private up here, pretty close to this buck's summertime hangout. So see if we can't find him. We after him. Take y'all along for a ride with me. Y'all stay tuned.
Alright guys, I'm scouting this overgrown pasture that I just got permission to hunt. This lady owns like, I think she owns 48 acres, 50 acres, something like that. I found a scrape right here. This is fresh. We're about, I think it's about 1.5 miles. I mapped it a minute ago. I thought it was 2 miles earlier, but it's about 1.5 miles from where the big buck I'm after, I have a picture of him about a week before archery season. I have a picture of him over there on public land, and this really got my attention on a map. Right there's a big white oak, real thick privet bushes underneath it. Super thick in here. It's thick as hell in here, boys. Go over here and look at this rub. Try to show y'all what we're working with. Spider webs and shit. Poison ivy. Look at this rub right here. Just to give y'all a perspective of how tall this thing is. I don't want to set my bow down in the damn poison, but look at this. Look at this. Y'all see that? Good Lord. That's a big deer. I'm gonna go show y'all this other one. Look at where his tines hit. All the way up here, Bo. That's crazy. I'd say that's pretty fresh. What y'all think? This right here is damn near titty high with me. Center of that rub right there is belly button high. I might have just found a mature buck's hideout, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna hang one more camera and I'm getting out of here, so yeah, let's do that. This place is so daggone thick. Big white oak right there. Look at that white oak. My God. So thick in here. There's another white oak tree right there. There's another one over there. Oh man. Raining acorns too. Acorns all on the ground in here. Oh yeah, this is it. I gotta find a tree. I'm gonna get my rangefinder and try to find a tree. I can probably, I don't know where he would be though. I mean, he feels safe in here. He'll be walking around middle of the day in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got a little bit more walking to do though. Y'all hang with me. I have found something good right here. All these damn deer tracks in here, bud. Deer turds. Great big ones, bud. Look at this. My God. Deer poop everywhere. Wow. Yeah. Time will tell. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here today. We're getting some target practice in. And one thing that I can't stress enough is practice like you play. It's one thing my coaches have always told me when I was growing up, is to practice like you play. So when we go hunting, when we go to play, I'm going to use a 200 grain Ranch Fairy single bevel right there. And in order to know how this thing operates and performs, we got to shoot it. So that's what we're gonna do. We are, I don't know, how far are we? Let's see. 21 yards from our target down there. We'll cut this phone on. Test out this Mag Pro that we got from The Hunt Public. Films your shots. We're going to play that.
And we're recording just like that. 21 yards. Here we go. So remember, guys, practice like you play.
It's a bummer not being able to go in here and hunt this deer. He's pretty consistent on camera. He's in there every day, almost. But to hunt him, we need a northerly based, steady wind. And right now, it's stagnant. And it's just not worth the risk, in my opinion, to go in there and hunt him. So all we can do is shoot our bow. I mean, we're pretty good from 30 yards, I'd say. So I feel pretty confident taking him at 30. I shoot with my gloves on, as y'all can see. That's how I'm gonna hunt. And I preach, practice like you play. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna be wearing these when I am in the woods hunting this deer. So that's what we're doing, practicing like we play. All right, y'all, I'm done for today shooting. I wanted to stop and take a minute to talk about these Ranch Fairy 200 grain broadheads right here, these single bevel broadheads. I've shot them from anywhere from 10 yards to 47, and they shoot just like my field tips. So I'm confident. I feel good. I feel dialed in. I feel ready to go. Now we're waiting on a northerly based wind to hunt the biggest deer of my life. I know if I go in there on any other wind, I'm gonna ruin my chances on getting an arrow in the biggest deer I've ever hunted. So I'm gonna have the self-discipline to stay out of there and the self-restraint. And when I do get that wind, hopefully it's soon, I'm going in there and I'm taking y'all along with me, and we're gonna try our best to get an arrow in a true North Carolina giant. Y'all stay tuned. All right, so I didn't do a good job documenting this story. There's some gaps in my storytelling, and I think it's pretty important. So anytime there's a gap where something's left out, y'all are gonna see me, I'm gonna tell y'all about it. Instead of putting it on a screen for y'all to read, I'm just gonna talk to you about it and let y'all know what happened that day to kind of keep y'all up to date with what's going on and try to make sense out of this whole thing. So I was looking at the 10-day forecast, and I was finally going to get that northerly based wind I needed to hunt this particular spot. It was supposed to come in the 28th, 29th, and 30th. So the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, you can bet your sweet tail I was going to be in the woods. So I decided it was going to be a good idea, the September the 27th, to drive up there and hang a set, because I didn't have a tree prepped. I had a tree picked out, but I didn't have it prepped. And so self-filming, you carry all this extra gear, right? And it would be a lot easier to just go in there, go to my tree, climb up, and hunt. All I need to do is set my camera gear up. I got lazy. So I went up there to fix my camera because something hit it and twisted it, and prep a tree. And when I got there, I didn't have a bow and arrow. It's hunting season. I went in there to a buck's bedroom without a bow and arrow. Rookie mistake. Y'all check this out. if that don't make you sick to your stomach, I don't know what does. I was in there messing with my camera, trying to get it back right. And I heard something, and I just looked over there, and he is standing up. I bet he wasn't even 20 yards away. Stood there, looked at me, pawed the ground like a bull, played with this little tree that was in front of him. He stood there. I could have easily shot him if I had a bow and arrow. And then he just finally just turns around and stiff leg walks. You know how they bristle up? He bristled up. Hair was standing all up on his neck. He walked about 20 or 30 yards, and then he finally just trotted off. Never seen anything like it. But anyway, that happened on the 27th. Now, fast forward to the 28th. It's September the 28th. It is about 7 o'clock in the morning. We are on the way to the spot. Finally getting the northerly base wind that we've been hoping and praying for. Seems like for the last eternity, we've been praying for a north wind to hunt this spot. Finally got it, and we're making the best of it today. Wind ain't really doing much right now, but I'm hoping around 9 o'clock, them winds will pick up so we can get on in there. Because if the wind don't really blow, I'm not going in there. It's just too risky. But we are on the way, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. We're going to go throw a hunt at this gigantic specimen of a white-tailed buck deer. Y'all stay tuned. See y'all in the woods. I think he's bedded up there. So my wind is perfect. It's blowing that way. He should come from up there and just walk right through here. That's the hope. We're hanging. Stay tuned. I've been in here since about 8 o'clock this morning. The buck walked past me. He walked by me about 8:45 this morning. He walked right through here. Couldn't shoot him. This is what I'm dealing with. He came from that way and just walked. That's my window right there is 15 yards. And he walked right through here. And he went up there towards that other big tree. You can't see it, it's so thick in here. I think he's bedding up that way. Wind's blowing like this. So the wind's good. That big white oak right there is raining acorns. But I got a camera right down here in front of me. I've tried to zoom in on it with my camera, but you can't see it. But I got high hopes for this afternoon. He could pop up any minute now. I mean, this tree's dropping acorns like crazy, so please, Lord, make him come back through here. I just couldn't get a shot. It was so thick. It's about 1 o'clock now. I've just been sitting here. I've only seen one deer, and it was him. But it's just so thick in here, man. It's so dense.
So thick in here. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And it's just like this up there. But this is the only white oak tree that's dropping, and this is why I'm here. But, anywho, we're in here. Sitting on G, waiting on O, baby. Catch up with y'all if the action picks up. I just saw that. That's crazy. That deer could literally pop up any minute. So I'm gonna get off of here and pay attention. So I'll pick y'all up if the action picks up. Had to put on the old big buck deer Sitka gear hoodie on. It's 100% not Sitka. It's bought it from Walmart like 20 years ago. Best hoodie I've ever bought. I wish I'd have bought all of them they had. But temperature's dropping. Had to put on a hoodie, so we're still in here. I'll pick y'all up later on. Update. Oh man, it's almost 4 o'clock. We haven't seen any more deer since I saw him this morning. This is the part of the game that I don't like to play. I don't know if the wind has kicked up earlier and he smelt me and is no longer in the area. I don't know if he's just laying up there asleep. I don't know. But we still have a good wind for where I think the deer are laying. So we're gonna trust our gut and sit it out till dark. I think we got about 2.5 hours till dark, so we're gonna sit it out. Pick y'all up in a little while. Update. No visual. But I heard a deer sneeze over there. 100%. We got a deer. Somewhere right up there. So that's all I got. See y'all after a while. Update. I see him. He's probably, I don't know, 70, 80 yards, maybe. Oh my God. He's just browsing on that tall fescue that's out there. Come on, baby. Come on.
September 29th. The chase continues. Went after this buck yesterday. And about 8:40-ish in the morning, he walked through my shooting lane at 16 yards. And it was just so thick in there, I couldn't, probably could have, but I didn't try to force an arrow through a small little gap in a tree. When I say small, I'm talking small, because it is gonna be a tight window in there if you do that. It is thick in there. But it is raining out here now. It's like one of those, you
can't make up its mind whether it wants to rain or whatever. It's like misty outside, so definitely a good day for them to be on their feet. It's going to allow me to be quiet going in there. So we're going in there, we're either going to kill him or we're going to sit till dark. So got a good wind today. It's supposed to be 12 miles an hour out of the northeast. We need a northerly based wind to hunt this spot. That's perfect. A little rain mixed in with it. He should be in there. He was on camera last night. Again, nothing new there, but here we go. We're going after it. I'm taking y'all with me. See y'all in the woods.
Raining pretty good out here now. Had to put a trash bag over the camera. The joys of self-filming.
Around 10:30. Earlier that morning, let me rewind. I saw my buck from the base of my tree. He was laying down about 80 to 100 yards from my location. And I had a good wind. He was vulnerable. It was hitting me in the face. It was blowing back that way. It took me forever to climb that tree. I climbed the tree. I get situated. And about 10:30 in the morning, I could see him through the foliage with my binos. And he was working his way down. He was on a deer trail that I had walked previously. And I know that trail does not lead to my set or anywhere by my set where I could shoot him. So the wind, if he kept going down that trail, he was going to intersect my wind. I didn't want that to happen. So I immediately tore down my set and got everything packed up and ready to move. And I ended up moving about 20, 30, maybe even 40 yards from where that deer originally was bedded at that morning. I picked out a tree and strategically walked over there. And where I walked, I tried to walk where I didn't think a deer would walk. I didn't walk on a deer trail. I just kind of took the hardest path from point A to point B that was the most straightest, if that makes any sense to you guys. The reason for that, I didn't want to leave any ground scent or ground disturbance. I knew I was going to leave ground scent and ground disturbance, but I didn't want to do it. I wanted a deer to have to walk out of their way to smell my ground scent or that disturbance that I made. I wanted to make it a challenge for them to find it. I didn't want to just throw it in their face and walk right down their deer trail. Does that make any sense? So I ended up moving and I got set up and I sat there and didn't see anything for a while. And I'm going to let the video play and then I'm going to pick you guys back up.
my mind. I'm about to shoot this deer out of his bed. I gotta get to them trees up there somehow. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we gotta make it work. He's about, I don't know, probably 80 yards right now. I've got 2 pine trees between me and the deer that I can use to keep me out of his sight. If I get up there to the edge of that opening, I can probably poke him when he stands up. This is not going to be easy, but I'm about it. I'm trying to kill him. This is the biggest deer of my life, so y'all stay tuned.
Okay, so at this particular point, I had moved from my earlier location to a new location closer to where I saw the buck previously bedded that morning, like I explained earlier. Sat there, hadn't seen anything, and then I finally see this buck working his way back into this bedding area or whatever. And I physically watch him lay down from the tree that I was in. And if you've ever stalked a deer, it's very important to pick out landmarks. Maybe even take a picture. I've seen The Hunt Public, like Zach and Ted and them guys. I've seen them take a picture of from out west, they're glassing from this knob, and they watch a deer lay down. They'll take a picture just so they can have that reference. Well, it's very important to have some kind of reference point when you're stalking an animal. And as soon as he laid down, I started looking because the wind was good, The weather was good. All the conditions were perfect for a stalk. And if you guys have ever hunted in North Carolina, stalking a deer with a bow and arrow is pretty much unheard of around here. Conditions were perfect, and there was one deadfall that had fell out of a tree, and it kind of looked like it was sticking out above the grass close to where this deer was bedded, and it kind of resembled the main beam of a deer. And that was reference number 1 for me. And right off the tail end of that was a cedar tree. But that cedar tree is where I wanted to be. That I knew that I was within 30 yards of that deer once I got to that cedar tree. But to get to that tree, I needed to use the deer antlered deadfall as a guide once I got on the ground. Because elevated and on ground level, everything looks different. But once I got to the ground, the rain kind of stopped, and I kind of sat there for a little while until the rain picked back up. Then I started my track to where I needed to be, and I was stalking this deer, and I finally get up to this cedar tree, and I know I'm close to the deer, but I can't see him. And I knew from the cedar tree, from where I was at, it was like the deer should have been to my right. And I'm up against this tree. I got my bow. Tree's right here. I got my bow. And this tree's only like that big around. It's not real big. I got my bow. And I'm looking to where I thought I saw this buck lay down. And I started to second guess myself. I was like, this little spot doesn't look like it can hold a deer. Like, there's no cover here. There's one little patch of weeds, but I don't see a deer, especially a mature deer, laying in that specific spot. So I started questioning what I saw, and I didn't know if he had walked in a dip and like had popped back up. I couldn't see him because it was kind of thick in there. And I started looking and focusing to the left because it was thicker cover over there and it looked more bucky, so to speak. So I was up against this tree with my binos, like looking at anything that looked like a deer antler. And if you ever have looked through binoculars for so long, your eyes get kind of blurry and tired. Well, I pulled my binoculars down to let my eyes take a break from that blurriness. And when I pulled them down, as soon as I pulled them down, I saw something move to my right. And when I looked over there, he was laying inside 20 yards, staring at me. And we had a stare off. He didn't know what I was. I don't know if you've ever seen a doe or a younger deer like spot you in a tree and they kind of move their head and try to get different angles to see what you really are. He was doing that, but it wasn't to that extent. It was very subtle. Like he was moving his head very little, like trying to get different angles, but also trying not to move because I wasn't moving. He knew something was there, but he didn't know what it was, and he couldn't smell me because of the wind. And that seemed like an eternity. Finally, he stands up, and when he stands up, he's basically facing directly away from me. And there's 2 trees between me and him. I don't know if he did it intentionally or if it always just seems to work this way, but he walked right behind those 2 trees, and all I could see was his rack on both sides of the tree. And he starts kind of fading to his left, and I knew up on top of that hill from previously walking this little parcel, there's a deer trail up there, and it goes at an angle down to the main trail on the drainage. It intersects that trail on the drainage, and I knew he was going down there, and he was probably going to leave the area. And he was going down the hill on that deer trail, and I just started ranging trees. The Lord knew that this was going to happen that day, apparently. the first little section that I looked was like somebody had came through there and pulled back all the branches. It was like a perfect little lane for an arrow to go right through there. And I ranged this pine tree at 47 yards. And I flipped my dial, rolled it to 47, locked it in. The deer got behind this thick stuff. And when he got behind that thick stuff, he was, just kind of, he wasn't walking fast, but he was walking. I come to full draw, and he stood in that opening perfectly. And I let it fly. And I watched the fletching bury right in the vital V. And as soon as I saw that, I hit the ground and I started crying. And I called my girlfriend and one of my best friends, and I ended up having to get off the phone with them to go put another arrow in this deer because I heard him crash, and it was going on a lot longer than what it was supposed to. He was thrashing around down there way too long. So I didn't get any of this on film either, but I ended up knocking another arrow, walking over to where I originally shot the buck, found my arrow covered in blood, actually made a little video and posted that on my social media of me like wiping the fletchings of the arrow and like looking up at the camera like, uh-oh. But I put that arrow back on my quiver and I proceeded to track this buck. And once again, I'm going to stop the video here and I'll pick y'all back up once we get to that part.
I just killed a giant. Oh my God.
See if we can't track him. Walking up on this deer was a very surreal moment for me. It was all a hunter could ever ask for. I put so much time and I spend so much time away from my family. I miss so many events chasing these deer. This is really a passion. It's a lifestyle. Chasing these animals, I've said it many times, it's very time consuming and you have to want it. Deep down inside of you, you really have to want it. And like I said before, something lives inside of me. I absolutely love bow hunting white-tailed deer. I love it. I had a moment down in the woods with this deer after I walked up on it. I just sat there and took it all in. Didn't call anybody, didn't text anybody, put my phone down, and I really soaked in the moment. I hope you guys liked the video. I'm going to try to do better in the future as far as filming the hunt goes. I do think I'm getting better at self-filming, but I'll try to improve on my end on that for you guys. We got some new hats in stock. Follow me on social media. I'll try to put my Facebook and my Instagram in the description, in the link, so you guys can get your hands on the new merch. So thank y'all for watching. Hit that like and that subscribe button. See y'all on the next one.